Hello, and welcome everyone to the webinar Islands Forum Plus, setting the bar for synergized SIDS knowledge on chemicals and waste. My name is Anastasia Buchok. I'm working as a senior associate at the Center for Thought Leadership at GGGI, and I'll be your webinar moderator today. Thank you for registering and joining us. And this webinar is a part of the global knowledge sharing activities conducted by the Jeff-funded implemented sustainable long and non-chemical development in SIDS Islands Program, global initiative supporting small island development states in preventing the buildup of hazardous chemicals and waste. Islands Program connects 33 SIDS countries across the Caribbean, Indian Ocean, and the Pacific, strengthening policies, improving waste systems, and promoting SIDS to SIDS learning. It also advances circular economy approaches and drives behavioral change through coordinated communications and global knowledge sharing program. Ultimately, the Islands program aims to reduce toxic releases, expand safe recycling pathways, and foster healthier and more resilient islands communities. So today we'll learn about the urgency of concerns related to hazards and risks brought by unsound chemical and waste management, particularly the health and environment impact specific to the island context. And there is also a challenge related to the stakeholders' engagement that we'll talk about today. And there are different levels of awareness in the SIDS about the chemicals and waste issues among the islands nations. So knowledge is at this moment quite dispersed, and global messaging is quite varying. So our speakers today will present how the GF Islands program is designed to address these concerns and these urgencies, and they'll discuss the island's integrated approach to knowledge and learning, highlighting how different elements and the pathways can work together in synergy. Moreover, the Global Islands CCKM project will call out a process to engage you, our audience, in Islands regional projects and cross-program initiatives. And a few housekeeping rules from our end. This webinar is hosted by Zoom platform. It will be conducted in English and it's recorded. This event is supported with amazing simultaneous interpretation into French and Spanish. We'll strive to make the recording available after this event. And please feel free to select your language in the bottom panel of your screen. Event is technically facilitated by my colleague, GGKP colleague Karen. And once we start, please feel free to introduce yourself in the chat. It's an amazing opportunity to meet all the colleagues from the seats and from all over the world. And I understand the Q&A chat box is active as a space for discussion, and please feel free to drop your questions there. And webinar materials and resources, including the video recording of this webinar, will be made available through the Islands Knowledge Hub and GGKP channels. And with that, I don't have any more time, and I'm very happy to introduce Jiasheng Liu, Task Manager of JAF Chemicals and Green Chemistry Unit, Industry and Economy Division from UNEP, who will walk us through the SIDS challenge with chemicals and waste. Over to you, Jiasheng. Thank you.
Thank you, Anastasia. Dear colleagues, dear partners, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Thank you all for joining us today. Whether you're connecting from the Caribbean, the Indian Ocean, the Atlantic, the Pacific, or from global partner institutions, it's truly encouraging to see the level of engagement for the first Island Forum Plus webinar following the Island Forum, which was organized in 2025 in Geneva. Your presence today sends a very clear message to us, our shared mission to elevate SIDS knowledge on chemicals and waste, which is not only important, it is indeed necessary, is something we're ready to advance together. Today's discussion will let us know why collective action is needed and why it is needed now. As you may know, the Island Program is a global initiative supporting small island developing states to prevent the buildup of hazardous chemicals and waste, strengthen national and regional management systems, and promote the exchange of best practices across the Caribbean, Pacific, Atlantic, and Indian Ocean regions. We recognize the unique context in which small island developing states operate, High reliance on imported goods creates structural challenges for chemicals and waste management, as many products enter in seas without corresponding systems for collection, treatment, or end-of-life management. Products ranging from plastic packaging and electronic equipment to agriculture chemicals and vehicles are transported by sea, air, or land used for a limited period and too often become waste that persists far beyond its useful life, contributing to pollution and environmental risk. Island countries are well aware of these challenges, and many initiatives have already been launched. However, knowledge, lesson learned, and technical resources remain scattered across past projects, multiple languages, and disconnected platforms. This fragmentation makes it difficult for countries to access, adapt, and replicate effective approaches. Many projects are also operating in relative isolation with limited opportunities for cross-country or inter-regional learning. As a result, valuable tools, case studies, and policy models can be lost once projects conclude. At the same time, awareness of chemicals and waste issues remain uneven, and communication efforts are often fragmented, with limited capacity to translate global messages into local relevant actions for SIDS. Taken together, these gaps lead to lost time and resources, missed opportunities, and slower uptake of proven solutions. The good thing is the island countries are not starting from scratch. Across the region, we already see innovative, practical solutions emerging, ranging from extended producer responsibility approaches and creative e-waste collaborations to community-led plastic initiative and cross-border partnership. These experiences are inspiring not only within SIDS, but across the global chemicals and waste community. As the lead implementing agency of the Jeff Island program, UNEP connects SIDS governments, international and regional agencies, and global partners, enabling SIDS to seize learning and amplifying solutions developed by islands, for islands, ensuring programmatic coherence, coordinating trial projects across regions, and overseeing monitoring, knowledge sharing, and communication structures that allow the program to deliver the results that are truly more than the sum of individual programs and projects. Through the Island program, we really aim to break this cycle of fragmented action and dispersed knowledge. Island program is designed as a collective ecosystem, one where knowledge, experience, and capacity can flow across regions and persist beyond individual project or national boundaries. This brings us to the heart of today's discussion, synergies and dynamic connections. As UNEP, we recognize that addressing chemicals and waste is not only about infrastructure or technology, but also about people, their behaviors, choices, and cultural contexts. This is particularly true in island societies where communities are closely connected and meaningful change can happen quickly where there is shared understanding. It is with this in mind that as we launch the Island Forum Plus, we extend a simple invitation. Join us, participate actively, ask questions, share your experiences and lessons learned. Imagine the potential when a lesson from Barbados informs action in the Maldives, when an innovation from Samoa supports Cabo Verde, or when a challenge facing Seychelles inspired a solution in the Marshall Islands. In closing, while chemicals and waste issues are often technical in nature, the reasons we are here are deeply human. We are working to protect the health of communities, the integrity of ecosystems, the beauty of coastlines, and the future of the next generation in island nations. We are doing this together with the Draft Secretariat, FAO, IDB, UNDP, GGKP, island regional partners, and the dedicated network of stakeholders and champions gathered here together. Thank you very much for your commitment, your engagement, and your leadership. Let us leverage the Island Forum Plus to continue raising the bar for SIDS cooperation together. Thank you very much, and we look forward to our discussions today and our collaboration going forward. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jaisheng, for the opening remarks and also reminding us about the importance of addressing the diversity of challenges in the SIDS context. Thanks a lot. And with this, I'm very happy to introduce our next speaker, the head of GGKP, Ms. Fabienne Pierre, who will walk us through the CCKM program in more details. And over to you, Fabienne. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Anastasia, and good morning, good afternoon. Thank you very much for joining us today. Before talking about CCKM, let me just say a few words about the islands program structure. As was already mentioned, the islands program is led by UNEP, is funded by the Global Environment Facility, and it supports 33 small island developing states across 4 regions, the Atlantic, Caribbean, Indian Ocean, and Pacific. The objective is to improve the management of hazardous chemicals and wastes in their territories. Those, as Zhesheng mentioned, are amongst the most vulnerable countries in the world. They face disproportionate exposure to pollution from shipping tourism, important goods, but have limited land and infrastructure to safely manage chemicals and waste. I think we will continue now. Sorry, I cannot really see the screen. Give me 1 second. Within this program, indeed, the Coordination, Communications, and Knowledge Management Project, which is Global Child Project, we call CCKM, is meant to connect and to amplify the work of all regional teams that you can see here. Each of the 4 regional teams work directly with countries on the ground, and CCKM sits at the global level to ensure that knowledge flows and circulate, and to ensure that we create opportunities to learn from each other, to ensure that what is learned in Samoa can inform decisions in Cabo Verde, for instance, or that a solution developed in Mauritius can be adapted in another region. So the objective of CCKM that is executed indeed by GGKP is to create the tools, the platforms, the framework that allow regional country teams and global experts and stakeholders from around the world to exchange knowledge and genuinely support one another. In terms of the timeline, thank you very much. So we want to of course illustrate the fact that those activities at global level through CCKM are central to the program from start to finish. So looking at the timeline, you can see how the work has evolved year by year. When we started in 2022, 2023, by building foundations with, for instance, the launching of global channels for islands, including the Islands Knowledge Hub, the Green Forum collaboration space, the Tide Turners app, and started producing our first knowledge products and events. In 2024, we grew expertise with the development of various strategies and toolkits, templates, and deepened our regional reach across the seas and the regions. In 2025, we have been strengthening connections. So indeed, as mentioned, we rolled out the in-person Islands Forum also worked on expanding online engagement and launched new sections of the Knowledge Hub, including an AI-powered knowledge assistant. And of course, those activities continue over the years and get improved and updated. So all those elements continue evolving with the program and the regions. Now, in 2026, we enter the phase we call Going Beyond. And with this webinar today, we are launching the Islands Forum Plus, and this will become the primary global platform for SIDS to connect with each other and with expert stakeholders worldwide to share knowledge, to develop, to co-create maybe new solutions and build lasting partnerships. Regarding the global CCKM pillars, and thank you, Lena. How does CCKM actually deliver all this? We have three core pillars that you can see here on the slide. Strategies and guidance, with the objective of providing the overarching direction on global communications, messaging, on cross-cutting transversal issues such as gender equality or stakeholder engagement, as well. And all this sort of ecosystem of strategies and guidance provides the frameworks that keep all the 33 countries and the 4 regions aligned around the shared goals that have been defined under the Islands program. The second pillar is focused on tools and platforms. So as you know, we are building and maintaining the infrastructure for knowledge exchange. At the heart of this, you will find jeffislands.org, which is the Islands Knowledge Hub. And around it sits the Green Forum and its communities of practice, its collaboration space, as well as the Tide Turners app and active social media channels. Over the last year, we're happy to say that the traffic to the Knowledge Hub has grown significantly, which also reflects a genuine demand for these resources. And of course, our objective is that this traffic continues increasing and that we have the capacity to gather, to pull in all the knowledge resources that can help SIDS and advance on this agenda on a at a very concrete level. Expert support is the third pillar, and we are here to connect countries with specialized technical expertise. We will in 2026 also focus on recycling best practices as well as on the shipping and cruise industries to facilitate conversations and identify best opportunities for partnerships. Those two sectors with outsized impact on SIDS environment are crucial to the Islands program. We also support countries in planning and developing their own communications and knowledge products through that type of expertise that we provide through CCKM. I think we're going to move to the next slide here to explain that, of course, those 3 pillars, they don't operate in isolation. And beyond the program itself, Islands actively builds connections with other parties, whether it's private sector partners or international conventions, civil society, other UN initiatives. And the objective is really to leverage those networks and the resources they have to support the Islands program and the regions and the countries. The knowledge SIDS have accumulated as well on managing chemicals and waste under complex multi-layered constraints is also not just valuable for the SIDS, it's actually valuable to the world. So it's also important to share this knowledge with other countries and other stakeholder groups that are, for instance, revolving around or integrating the GGKP network, as an example. So today, once again, we're launching the Islands Forum Plus. And by doing that, we are opening a door to cooperation and to partnership wider than ever before. This is really an invitation to engage, to step in, and to contribute to this global effort to share knowledge and support knowledge application um, on chemicals and waste in the seeds. I think I will stop here, and thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Fabienne, for this great overview of the CCKM program and inspiring and motivating plans forward that all the partners of the program will be aiming to achieve together. And with that, I'm very happy to introduce our next speaker, who will guide us directly, walk us through the Islands Forum Plus. So, Ms. Jana Thuat, Knowledge Management Specialist of CCKM at GGKP, and over to you, Jana. Thank you. And thank you,
Thank you
Fabian.
Thank you so much, Anastasia, and grateful to come after Fabian and Yasheng. Colleagues all over the world, I am very pleased to introduce the Islands Forum Plus, which is the integrated ecosystem of the Islands program. Islands Forum Plus is a response based on the collective recommendation of the four regions: Atlantic, Caribbean, Indian Ocean, and the Pacific, for a more cohesive and synergized approach to knowledge sharing. As we all know, especially in the year 2026, there's a proliferation of data and platforms and digital information, and it's easy to be overwhelmed. But that is something that the Jeff Islands program is trying to address. It's making knowledge accessible and communications really a part of our lives. So, if you can see here, normally we would have a video today, but in the essence of time, and so that we can have more conversation, my colleague Karen will also drop the video link and you can watch that on your own time. But let me walk you through what the Islands Forum Plus is about. If you can see here on your screen, the Islands Forum Plus is a knowledge ecosystem that connects different pathways, digital and in person. It moves beyond ad hoc knowledge sharing by combining structure, which is the framework logic, with vitality, such as an ecosystem dynamics that all of us here, especially those coming from the island nations, are familiar with. We would love to allow learning to remain dynamic, adaptive, and cumulative over time, and that is the desire of Islands Forum Plus. Next slide, please. Islands Forum, as a knowledge ecosystem, is designed and governed by the Jeff Learning and Knowledge Strategy. We are looking at interdependence, where each component reinforces the other; continuity, where learning persists beyond individual projects and events; adaptability, where new topics and actors can be integrated over time; and more importantly, regeneration, where knowledge is continually refreshed through the use, reflection, and reflective synthesis. Within the Islands program, Forum Plus activities serve as the living connector between projects, regions, institutions, and stakeholders, linking knowledge where it is generated to where it is needed and applied. We're employing a learning life cycle. Much to all of the heart of Islands Forum is the structure that embeds it across the pathways of digital, which is webinar and the Learn Library on our Knowledge Hub. We also have facilitated pathways where we can go hybrid or in person through communities of practice and thematic exchanges. But at the end of it, we would really love to bring all of this learning and knowledge at the global stage. That's why we have the in-person global events. If you look at the blue circle, the island's learning life cycle focuses on discovery, exchange, application, scaling, and institutionalization. Allow me to give this a little more time. Discovery is very important because we recognize that islands are composed of people. We are not just platforms or digital online systems, but we are actual communities that really interact with each other. But we recognize also that the dispersal of time zones and geographical landscapes. Therefore, peer to peer dialogue and shared sense making is important. And while that is happening, we would like to see how it's being translated, the learning, into practice and replication. Scaling is very important, especially when amplifying proven approaches across regions and partners. And finally, for sustainability, we're very cognizant that we are a program and a project with limited resources and timeframes. We would love to preserve the knowledge as durable assets and norms with the people who matter most, you, our stakeholders. So, moving forward, let me be more concrete. Next slide, please. Islands Forum Plus does not treat webinars as standalone services or events. They are connected. We will start, for example, today with a discovery dive, and it's the phase one of introduction to the Islands program. We set the scene and the context. You've heard how this program has been existing already for some time, but what is the way forward? And what are the foundations that build on it? Once we finish that, we will go deep dive or have some expeditions to solutions in chemical and waste management. This one, I'm very proud to say that it has been co-developed with our regional focal points and real-life stakeholders, listening to them and telling us what they need and what are their pain points. Examples of this are mercury, toxic topics on highly hazardous pesticides, POPs and forever chemicals such as PFAS, and most importantly, with the hardest to deal waste streams, end of life vehicles and used oils in island nations. Once we have that subject matter expertise, islands would love to have partnerships and collaboration with different partners. So, in the third phase of our webinar series, we would have chartered voyages, navigating enabler systems and partnerships, where we look at synergies at higher levels. For example, how to turn the tide in terms of combating contaminated plastic pollution, or talking to big players such as the shipping and cruise industries. More importantly, how about financial institutions and giving the sustainability of all the efforts produced on ground? I'm going to pause there because I'd really love you to have a call to action. I put here that you would nominate or volunteer yourself as a speaker. Let's see, what does the audience say? So if Elena or Karen can help us, we would like to see our participants' interest in terms of where would you like to be? The poll is running right now. If you were to attend the future webinars, please tell us which ones are you most interested to attend. Give you a few minutes for that. And then the second, if you were going to be a speaker, where would you be interested to speak at? We recognize that in the over 200 participants who registered today, that most of you are subject matter specialists and you are part of great organizations that are internationally placed. We would love to hear from you. And if you would drop your comments on the chat or even send us an email later, we would get in touch with you and collaborate in the next webinars. Okay, a few more seconds for our poll. All right. And I don't know, Anastasia, if you're there, you can have a look. I think most of our participants are very interested in policy frameworks and some of the special topics. Thank you so much. But I think we have to carry on. I think we have another slide. Is that right? Okay. We're gonna end the
I
poll
just
for now.
let give our participants just a few more seconds because I can see that people very actively answering. So just maybe 20 more
Okay.
seconds to finish the poll.
Thank you for that. Yes. This is really good. Oh, and For those of us who are interested, this will be addressed later on. Please feel free to share with your networks and colleagues who are not available in this time zone. So Islands Forum Plus is also designed in such a way to reach out to our stakeholders who are not present during the live sessions, but you can access it on demand. Okay. Thank you. Would we like to share the results? I'll click on that. And we see that 98% of our participants today have answered. Thank you so much, participants. And there's a big uptake on special topics related to the island's issues and streams. Thank you for this, and definitely we will reach out to you as a speaker or a panelist. Okay. Right now, let's go back to our slides and let me do 1 minute each for each of our pathways. These are concrete ways on how our participants, our Islands program stakeholders, and new audience to Islands can participate. The webinars are designed for you to interact with our existing communities. It's a community of practice online, granted, but imagine if you were a researcher or a recycling owner. If you go to the island's community, you would be able to find like-minded people posting and talking about similar topics that you'd be interested in. And if you are a researcher or a student wanting to share your expertise and newfound knowledge, this is the place to go. So please explore us at the Green Forum. The chat box will also have the links, and my colleagues later will also present a call to action on how to get more involved. Next slide, please. There. Okay. Thematic exchanges are equal to reinforce global program support. As part of good project implementation and program management, the project management teams meet every quarter. However, there was a call from our stakeholders that why don't we open this to actual discussions, peer-to-peer exchange, where we can invite experts or specialists who can discuss real-life solutions to actual challenges. So we have posted here our expected timetable. Please join us as a peer reviewer or expert contributor, and we can invite you because we plan to publish the outputs of this meeting as insights, and it will be part of our island's body of knowledge in the Learn Library. Next slide, please. And more exciting are the global learning events that are happening within the year. We know that in November 2025, the Global Framework of Chemicals will be holding its conference. So thank you so much, our GFC colleagues who are present today. We're actually looking at this as one of the platforms where we can hold a SIDS dialogue. In the margins of the Minamata Convention meeting last year, we also held a similar conversation, and it was like open mic day. It was informal, it was refreshing. We heard the pain points, and we tweaked all of our work plans that would suit better the recommendations of the SIDS countries who attended. We'd like to do that again this year. Please get in touch with our communications team if you would like to learn more how to be involved. Next slide, please. And I think, Anastasia, that is where I will hand it over to you. I look forward to hearing from our participants in the Q&A. Over to you, Anastasia.
Thank you very much, Jenna. Very promising presentation about the great plans for the Islands Forum Plus. Just taking a few minutes to also agree with you that behind the platforms and the actual communities that interact with each other, and I truly hope that Islands Forum Plus can be that space where islands communities and the experts and projects and all the various platforms are connected in a way that knowledge flows through all these islands nations. And with that, I think it's a time to acknowledge all the contributions of the panelists and the speakers. And I'm very pleased to tell you that we have received a number of questions that were submitted by those who registered for these webinars. to address them during this Q&A time. And the questions can be clustered under these four categories. So it's subject matter, technical questions, topics of the concern for the SIDS nations. So covering the specific issues such as storage facility for the chemicals, landfills, and waste management benchmarks for mitigating the harmful effects of chemicals on consumers, GHS, the hazardous pesticides. There was a few questions on the island's operations and the program implementation, workflow, so working with the global conventions or the status of the country, progress in terms of phasing out the hazardous chemicals. And another category of questions was more related to collaboration and stakeholders' engagement in the SIDS context. So whom to contact at the national level, and in the ministries. And final category was more on the webinar logistics, so the time zones and language interpretation. So we'll have time to answer the selected number of questions today, and we'll begin with one question from Alexander of the Minamata Convention Secretariat. And how is the Mercury or Minamata Convention dimension addressed by the Alliance program? And for this, I'm very happy to invite Jaisheng to address this question. And over to you, Jaisheng. Thank you.
Thank you, Anastasia. Also, many thanks for the questions from the Minamata Convention Secretariat, since it's quite crucial question related to the mandate, also what we are supporting under the program. So I would say as one of the key chemicals and waste streams to be addressed under the island program, we, like mercury dimension, is being adjusted in support of Minamata Convention for sure through the targeted regional specific interventions. And I would say particular in the Pacific, but of course in the other regions, because for our program is following the same theory of change, while it also varies from one to the other regions in accordance to its needs. So I would take the Pacific as example. In the Pacific region, Islands is directly supporting the Minamata Convention's implementation through the development of regional model legislation and drafting instructions to control mercury-containing products designed for adoption and integration into the national legal frameworks. This work responds to the gap identified in the national Minamata initial assessments and aim to harmonize approach across the Pacific Seas, reducing fragmentation and strengthening regulatory controls on mercury-containing products and wastes. And beyond legislation, the program and the project also supports the capacity building, knowledge exchange, and awareness raising through regional webinars and technical discussions on mercury regulation and waste management. And these efforts include the promotion of the Mercury-Free Pacific Initiative, which aim to raise the awareness of mercury risks. Also, we have the development of Pacific Mercury Regional Action Plan. Together, these activities provide a coordinated framework to reduce the mercury emission release and exposure risks in line with the Minamata Convention obligations. So in general, like from the program perspective, although it's not a mercury-only program, it contributes to the Minamata implementation by addressing the structural constraints that affect the mercury management in seas. But in addition to that, also the program is supporting the implementation of Stockholm Convention on persistent organic pollutants. But the most importantly, that in addition to the regional activities and interventions, that we have the island program, and particularly the Global Trial Project, the CCKM, we're discussing now for the SIS to SIS learning for the exchange. So that's the answer to the how the program adjusts the mercury dimension. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jaisheng. And a great start to this Q&A. I think we have another question that was a selected representative question on the learning. So how is CCKM dealing with the specific topics related to islands issues such as landfills and chemical storage facilities. So I assume that Fabienne, probably you could address this question. So can you take it forward, please? Over to you, Fabienne. Thank you.
Thanks, Anastasia. I think this is a question that will be, discussed on many occasions during the webinar series, and of course a question that will be also addressed by the regional teams as we move forward with all those discussions. In general, the Islands program helps, well, protect the islands environment by addressing the way waste is being managed, and by reducing what reaches dumping yards, by supporting activities that are aligned with global conventions. Of course, the Basel, Rotterdam, and Stockholm conventions that provide guidance and training related to waste. Like I said, the regional activities in the islands program promote safer waste management operations and safer disposal operations. That includes good practices in various areas. And the objective is also through the global program to build awareness and influence positive change across different levels. And again, this will be discussed, and we will bring expertise from different places to help answer those questions.
Thank you very much, Fabienne. Indeed, I've just reviewed again the plans for the Islands Forum Plus, and I see it's very ambitious. There are many technical sessions planned by the team. So I believe all and maybe beyond this technical questions will be addressed further by the colleague throughout all these exciting sessions. But just one quick question that was probably in the last one was to Jana on the Island Seminar. So we understand that Islands program is convening a few regions, and they are all in the different time zones. So maybe Jana, if you could address the questions of how the seminars in the Islands Forum Plus would be convening participants from different time zones. And over to you, Jana. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Anastasia. Yes, we are spanning 4 regions in really different time zones. So again, we cannot reach everybody at the same time, and we acknowledge this and we apologize in advance if some regions cannot access live. But the good news is we have this recorded, and we are planning to actually package all of the insights from every Islands Forum Plus webinar we have on a dedicated space in our jeffislands.org Knowledge Hub. And you can see this in the future as an Islands Forum Plus link. And we can drop that link. When you subscribe to our newsletter, you will see it there, and you can actually see that. More especially, you can see this at the Green Forum, and I'm actually seeing some discussions in the chat that you're actively joining the Green Forum right now. Thank you so much, and that's one way of continuing the collaboration. We have interpretation for our islands languages: French, English, Spanish, and soon Portuguese. So these are our 4 languages in the islands regions, and we hope that it will serve our international and multilingual needs. But Anastasia, one more minute before I think there's one more question or speaker lineup. You mentioned that we have an ambitious lineup. That's true. In the video that the participants can watch at their own time, we planned for 15 webinars. Now, this is not random. It's really something that we aspire to receive because our regions know what kind of knowledge will come out from their projects. And I'm very excited to say it's not just the CCKM project team who's conceptualizing this. We're co-managing, co-creating it with the regional team. So I think I'm going to end there and let you introduce our next speaker if there is any. Thank you.
Thank you, Jenna. Great news. So we have a few minutes and we are very happy to accommodate this time for our colleague from BCRC Caribbean, Hadassah. Hadassah, if you're here with us, please feel free to jump in and introduce the exciting webinar that will be hosted by your team. Over to you, Hadassah.
Thank you, Anastasia, and good morning and good afternoon, colleagues. Just confirming that you can hear me well. So it's a pleasure to be part of this webinar, and in the essence and the theme of SIDS to SIDS learning, the BCRC Caribbean will actually be hosting a webinar on April 7th. I think one of my colleagues will facilitate sharing the flyer in the chat. This webinar will be on the global harmonized system. So one of our activities that have been completed, what we realize is that we do want to share this knowledge, not just with our Caribbean countries, but with the other regions within the Islands program to facilitate that SIDS learning. So we are doing a webinar just to highlight our key outcomes and lessons learned from the activities undertaken during that consultancy with our UNEP colleagues who were, with our UNITA colleagues who were the consultants under that activity. And just to give a bit more insight into the different trainings that we do and how we aim to foster SIDS to SIDS learning. Under the Caribbean project, we do have a digital learning hub that we are developing. And what we have realized is that though we have trainings, not the trainings only reach a certain amount of persons. So to allow more persons to benefit from the activities and from the knowledge that is being shared, this learning hub allows persons to participate in the trainings at a later date and at their own pace. So this is something that we'll be sharing with the CCKM team, a link, and it should be open to the wider regions as well, so that persons can benefit from the products and resources that are also being developed under the Islands Caribbean project. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Hadassah. Very great opportunity for other colleagues in the seats and beyond the seats. I believe the link is in the chat, and we really strongly encourage everyone to register and join on April 7th. And many thanks and for great work to our colleagues in BCRC Caribbean. I see there are a few questions on the chat, and unfortunately, due to the time limitations, we won't be able to address all of them, but I'll just read a few and acknowledge your future further actions on this. So how do you manage environmental site characterization and analytical support in the context where there is no established national laboratory for environmental analysis? And how do you integrate the PFAS exposure pathways into human health and ecological risk assessments, particularly when regulatory criteria are still evolving? And many thanks to those colleagues who raised these questions. I guess these are the kind of a key important topics that would be addressed and would be considered in the Islands Forum Plus by our colleagues at the CCKM in the next sessions. But also, I believe where possible, our colleagues will be also addressing these questions on the Green Forum Islands community. So we really encourage you to join the Islands community to get as many answers as possible and be connected with the experts. And with that, I believe we are very close to our next final presentation by my colleague Yelena Chernyshova, communication specialist from CCKM at GGKP, who will walk us through the key takeaways on the communications side. So over to you, Yelena. Thank you.
Thank you. I hope that you can see and hear me and you can see the slides.
Yes.
Yes, it's been an hour, but it's really passed very quickly. But I just wanted to remind you what we were hearing in the very beginning about Ireland going beyond its borders and opening up to new partnership, new collaboration, and to sharing beyond borders, but also beyond this, one way of information sharing, one way of producing knowledge. And I have three very concrete next steps, very concrete takeaways and actions that I would, on behalf of the team, I would like you to do. And the first is the simple one is just stay in the loop, stay updated on what is going on in the program. And to do so, first check out the Islands Forum Plus page. This is the page on our main website, and the link is in the chat, I believe, already, or will be there just in a moment. So on this page, you will also see the upcoming webinars, the links to our communities, the links to our newsletter. So please check it out, register for the webinars there, and subscribe to the newsletter. I know that most of you who registered for this webinar already expressed interest in receiving this new newsletter through the registration form, but feel free to forward this and share this with your colleagues. So all people, everyone who is interested and want to be in the loop is actually in the loop of our program. So the next thing that I want to ask you to do is a little more complicated, a little more challenging, but indeed more important. And it's share with us. Share what you know, because there is a body of knowledge generated, created, accumulated by small island developing states, but also by everyone, private sector partners, academia, other countries who have relevant knowledge and relevant experience. And we need to exchange it. We need to collaborate. So you see QR code here, and you see a link in the chat, and you will also find this link on our Islands Forum Plus page. And it's a link to our Islands community on the Green Forum. We ask you to join this community and to start actually talking to each other. There are simple things where you can start. First, you saw this very interesting, very promising lineup of the webinars, and we asked if any of you or your colleagues want to be a speaker to one of these webinars. So you can go, if you haven't replied to the poll, or if you need some time to think it over, you can go to the Green Forum and you can message us there, and you can express your interest and share the knowledge and expertise that you already have. You also can think of what question you want to ask. Maybe someone, well, not maybe, I'm sure that someone out there have knowledge that can be helpful to you. So ask these questions. And I actually want to challenge you. I want to ask you to actually do this one thing right after this webinar. Think of one topic or one product to share, one piece of knowledge you want to share, or one question you want to ask. Go register on the Green Forum and ask this question or share this information. And that's how we will kickstart this revamped community. And that's how we kickstart real conversation. And as Anastasia mentioned, some of the questions that you posted in the Q&A, and we did have time to address them, we actually can address through the Green Forum. We can find experts there, you can find experts there, and you can start this conversation there. And the team is always present at the Green Forum, so you always can reach out to us directly there. Finally, I want to encourage you to learn from us, because what we are doing is not only about generating new knowledge and building new partnerships. There is already a lot of things that we have, and we have them on our Islands Knowledge Hub. So try it, go there and see what it can do, because you can refine your search by choosing who you are, what are you interested in, and what are the topics that you need help with. And we also have a very cool thing there, which is AI assistant Isla. And if you don't know where to start, you can ask Isla to guide you through our knowledge base. When we looked at the question that you asked here in the Q&A or during your registration, when we saw the backgrounds of people who registered, it's very clear that people came to this webinar with very different type of questions, very strategic and very practical, very down to earth and very like visionary questions. All sort of knowledge is in demand and all sort of questions were asked. But I'm pretty sure that whatever brought you today to this webinar, probably our Knowledge Hub already has something that may be helpful to you. So go there and start using it. And if you have any feedback on it, you know that you can always express it and contact us through the Green Forum or directly through the contacts of the global team. So this will be my three short messages. Stay in the loop, share with us what you know, and learn from islands, from everyone who is involved in this program, and from everyone who has already shared their knowledge through the Learning Hub. And thus, we can create the unique knowledge, we can create the unique actions, and we can actually produce something and achieve something that none of us could have achieved alone. So, and this is the whole point of our program. So with this, I will stop and I will hand it over back to Anastasia.
Thank you very much, Lena. Really encouraging messages on the Green Forum and on the Islands Hub, and very good news. Congratulations on introducing the ISLA again. So, as we are very close to the end of this session, just taking a few minutes to thank the program team, the Islands team, and all the partners and all child projects and participants attending the session. Please take note that this session is actually an opening session for the Islands Forum Plus and many more technical sessions to come. And again, to echo the message of my colleagues, who are encouraging everyone to share your knowledge, to share what you know, encouraging you to ask questions, to keep testing the platforms, making the best of what is already out there, asking the questions on the topic that you're curious about, something that you come across in the course of your work on the project or in your daily work in the ministries or in your organizations. So again, echoing to my colleagues, please do share what you know. And just from my end, I want to add that knowledge doesn't have to be perfect. Sometimes we think that it has to be a good case study that we can go and share on the Green Forum, or we can ask some very nice smart questions, but knowledge doesn't have to be perfect. So the background, the context that you have, the challenges you're facing, the failures you're having is also part of a knowledge. So we really encourage you to share what you know. And we truly believe that will be very helpful for the Islands program. And with that, just a final minute we have. Okay, there is a final evaluation poll in the chat, or will it be in the, Lena, will it be as a part of the completion of the webinar? Okay, I believe there is a final poll which participants will receive at the end of this event. And here we go.
Yes.
So where you will have an opportunity to evaluate this session.
Here.
Yes, please go ahead. And Jana, Fabian, Jaisheng, Yelena, would you have any final remarks or good wishes to other participants, child projects?
Sure, I can just have a very quick one, like just sincere thanks to all participants for engagement today. So UNEP really values the Forum Plus, Island Forum Plus as the platform to connect knowledge, experience, and partners across regions. And also thank you very much for questions in the chat. We can see the strong engagement. We look forward to continuing this collaboration and strengthening the shared learning to support the effective chemical waste management SIDS going forward. Thank you all, and wish you a great day.
And on behalf of CCKM, GGKP, I also want to thank all the panelists. I want to thank you, Anastasia, as well for your great moderation of this webinar. And thank all the participants. I just want to reiterate the invitation that I've made and other colleagues I've made as well. Please reach out to us. Let us know what is important, what you would like to learn through those webinars. If you're leading a project, implementing activities that you believe would benefit to the SIDS countries in the Islands program, or if you would like to learn from them, please reach out to us. We are here to build those connections and have this community grow. So thank you very much once again, and I look forward to the next opportunities to meet with you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Zhuisheng, and thank you, Fabienne, for this wonderful wishes and call to action. And many thanks to all the participants and all the speakers, and also to our amazing interpreters who supported this event throughout the hour. So look forward to seeing you again in the Islands Forum Plus, and have a wonderful day. Bye.
Bye. Thank you,
Bye.
everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.